there's a good integration out of the box. There are a lot of widgets available to consume connection data into Experience applications. So let's see how some of the partners, IBM partners and customers and ISVs, they have extended connections functionality. So I'll not cover too much of use cases, but some of them are really important in terms of how connections should be looked upon from different line of businesses, right? So if you look at financial industry, the moment you talk about email in the financial domain, people are very sensitive about writing email, right? So they want to protect the email. People, they want power to control the whether people can take a copy of the email, print the email, forward the email, save the email, or how much till what time you should archive. What is the policy on the email, right? So what about the enterprise collaboration, right? So how can we do the auditing while collaborating, right? Suppose somebody writes a blog. That blog could be offensive to somebody, or blog is nice, but people, they start writing abusive comments within the enterprise. Now, I mean, if on a Facebook or Google, Indian government is trying to to put a lot of restrictions, but I mean, Facebook is trying to support government by providing data. But now, what about the data in enterprise, right? Now, in email, people can write, they can fight. Now, within the enterprise collaboration, people can start fighting or writing some abusive language, and then if somebody notices, they can go and delete it. So there is no proof, right? So how will how the organization can actually enforce some of the compliance, right? In terms of from the legal perspective, right? It could be wrong data provided while answering a forum, for example. For example, you have a bank, and then the teller is asking some questions to SME. It could be chat, it could be posting some question on the forum, and by mistake the SME puts the wrong answer, and then teller accepts the answer and then proceeds with the transaction, and that may result in a loss. And if SME deletes the answer, right? So there is no proof. So such kind of activities should be monitored, and that's where one of the partners, IB partner called Time. So they have created a solution called Vantage for compliance for the social data. So whatever you post is captured and audited. So even if you delete from your social platform, it is still there for auditing purpose. So this is another partner, IB's partner, ISW. So we talk about gamification. Now gamification is not really playing the game, right? So it's not like games relay or on the Facebook, right? So it's not really a game as a game, right? From the HR perspective, for example, in a social networking environment, it is, some people are very active, right? So some people are good bloggers, some people are good at sharing the material, some people are they are good at commenting, so they are critic, like positive or negative. Now some people, they are just readers, right? So they don't have any opinion, or they may be having opinion, but they don't want to express it, right? Now from the enterprise perspective, how will you reward the employees who are contributors, right? So that's where a solution like ISW gamification comes handy, where you can have point-based systems. So you assign the points, and as and when the employees are sharing the data, or they are getting positive comments, or they are getting thumbs up, they're getting more likes, right? They're getting they're answering more questions on the forum, or their profile data is more populated than rest. They should be rewarded, right? So they are more evangelist versus some of the other people who are not so active. So gamification is another culture which is coming up. It is driven from the HR and the corporate communication perspective, because they want to really monetize people who are spending time for the benefit of others within the enterprise. Badgeville is another way of point system. So this is another IBM partner who has created a solution enhancing IBM Connections experience. So in the beginning we talked about portal technology, right? So portal technology traditionally has a role-based access where you have applications, enterprise applications being served and then integrated onto the common UI, right? Now we, as a part of the innovation, we introduced a concept called social portal, and that is what we feel about, right? People, they think that social is there, so what is the life of portal, right? So whether portal is going to be there or whether social is going to take over, right? So, and it's a debatable question, but the fundamentals are very, very simple, right? So you can ask your friends on Facebook, right? You can ask your friends on Facebook on some recommendation for a doctor, or some for medicine, but you still have to go to doctor to get the medicine, right? So you can't really buy, or a doctor will not recommend medicine onto the Facebook, right? So doctor would like to see you there in the hospital or in the clinic. So similarly, while in some of the banks, they are having social app on Facebook, right? But you don't really want your data to be hacked, right? While on Facebook, so you don't want to really your friends looking at your bank account balance on Facebook, right? So you don't want to do that. So there'll be concerns about data security. There'll be concerns about privacy. So there'll be transactions, right? So for transaction, you will come to your application, right? So application is not going to die, right? The applications are going to be there. It is just the angle of social. So for example, a classic example could be, you're looking at your dashboard. You are having a reporting engine. You are looking at your KPIs, your metrics, right? Then there are some data which is not going correct, and you want to start some actions, right? So you want to discuss. You want to assign some tasks, right? So then traditionally is you take a screenshot, put in the mail, send somebody a mail, right? Connections activities. You can leverage connection activity to assign task for somebody to track it, right? So you can set the goals, you can set the milestones, you can discuss on that, right? So you can bring enterprise collaboration within your own business BI, right? BI tool. So we have Sugar CRM, or we have there are so many social cloud-based tools like Salesforce.com. So they started adding social capability within Salesforce. So people who are using Salesforce on a cloud, they can start collaborating on the data, right? So not like Facebook. So not like discussing Salesforce data onto the Facebook. So social is going to be there, right? But it will be going to be there in the context of business applications, right? So we have out-of-the-box integration between portal and connections, and with every release, we improve upon by providing more out-of-the-box integration points. So instead of as a developer, you're writing a lot of code, we want to reduce the amount of code which is going to be written for such integration. So I know, 2-3 years back, people have written a lot of code to get these integrated, but now what we are encouraging is providing the development tool so that most of these APIs are wrapped inside, right? So you don't need to really dig into low-level APIs. Plugin for Lotus Notes. So the connections can get integrated with. So the latest version of Lotus Notes is called Social Edition. So again, you will have the embedded experience coming into your Notes client, right? So social mail, so we call it social mail. So mail is going to be there, right? But we are just adding the social flavor so that you can have your discussions on the mail, right? Instead of having mail and reply to all, and then starting a mail thread, instead you can have a discussion thread on the mail, right? So that way the mail data is not lost. So people leave the organization, but the discussion still remains there, right? People leave the organization, the mail file is gone. But what about the data which has been discussed, right? So there are a lot of minutes of meeting would have taken place, a lot of decision being made, but unless you post it somewhere, right, it's not available to everybody to access. Plugin in, so again, integrated experience on your chat client. Now, this is interesting topic because a lot of customers, they already have SharePoint or Microsoft presence. It could be Outlook, it could be SharePoint, both, right? Now, how do we propose connections, right? So we have very good story in terms of getting these integrated to what the tool you use. It could be Windows Explorer, it could be a smartphone, it could be your Outlook client, it could be your SharePoint. So we integrate SharePoint into connections, or we can integrate connection into SharePoint. Similarly, we can integrate SharePoint with portal. So we are trying to have a scenario where, and then there are use cases, because one technology may lack something which other technology doesn't have, right? So SharePoint has positives, which we make use of using CMI standards. So we get SharePoint data workflows into connections. Similarly, SharePoint doesn't have a lot of things which are generally customized or developed. So we have out-of-the-box in connections. So we encourage customers to look at those functionality which SharePoint doesn't provide, or it provides, but it takes a lot of customization to be done. So we provide those capability out of the box. So instead of ripping the software apart, right? So we generally encourage to have a coexisting scenario, so that you don't need to really migrate everything from one environment to another environment. So there are customers who are using both the technologies together, coexisting happily. Right. So this is a slide where we talk about connections integration. So it could be gamification, bunch ball, badge relay, Google Leader, Wildfire. So Wildfire, app, and then we have connections portal, SharePoint integration, and then there are on the catalog we have a lot of things coming up by some of the vendors. They have their own offering. It could be for an administrator, it could be for developers, it could be for LOBs to leverage connections in the innovative manner. Okay.